First of all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We talk a lot about the wildfire smoke here in the United States, but I think people in the United States have a tough time understanding the scope of the fires that occur in Canada. And you've done a lot of research on detecting them. Can you talk a little bit about some of the factors that go into why wildfires in Canada, especially this year and back in 2023, have been so widespread and devastating?
Currently, Canada is facing an alarming wildfire situation. We have almost 240 active fire across the country, and even 91 of them are out of control. More than 4 million hectares of forests have already burned. And I can say resulting in three provinces in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, more than 33,000 people evacuated from their house. And even I had a look on it right now, even as of June of 2025, Canadian Wildfire have released approximately more than 2 million ton of PM 2.5. It's really huge. I think almost 25% of the wildfire of the world. And if we have, that lead us to have a deep look on the main driver of wildfire, what happened in these recent years and what are the main, I can say, driver of such situation. Even, this year that the situation in Canada and even, in Manitoba was really shocked us because this spring, during of the month of May, it's not really normal to face with such catastrophic situation in Manitoba. When we had in the and we used the satellite image to do a study about the main reason of such type of wildfire. Just before going through the topic, I know you are expert in this field, but we can say right now we need for the wildfire and we have three important ingredients. I can say the first one is fuel, and the second ingredient is weather condition, and finally the third ingredient, the trigger. And when we try to understand and to look about all these three factors, and mostly the first two, one comes from the weather and I can say the nature, showed us what happened in this year, and even the situation was different from the 2023. We try to study the anomaly of this variable, the important variable, like leaf index, I can say leaf area index, or LAI, and NDVI, normalized difference vegetation index, that lead us about the fuel. And when we had a look on the precipitation anomaly and the snow cover anomaly, for the first time over I can say, the 20 last years, we saw all these four anomaly are negative. Means compared to the reference years, we face with the decrease in this value. And I believe in such situation, we face with a superposition, or even I named it, and even for the first time, I choose a name for it, and I call this situation a synergetic interaction of climatic anomalies.
What is unique about Canadian forests, unlike, let's say, because I think a lot of folks in the United States think about our wildfires here and the type of vegetation that we have. What makes those boreal forests of northern Canada unique or different than other parts of the world, even?
I believe maybe I can see the impact of climate change with the drought condition. And we observe a serious drought condition during of these years in Canada. And even, something again important, always the public think Canada is a country with a lot of source of water, etc. But we should consider, and even the last information about the month of April, in April of 2025, drought assessment showed us at the end of month, 32% of country was classified as abnormally dry, D0, or moderate and severe drought condition. Means the condition of the drought is really serious. And even we did, I can say, an assessment, extensive assessment by AI modeling, and considering many factors and variables on the country. And even we use more than 1 million observation data, etc. We developed a deep learning modeling by AI. and showed us the situation with the drought condition get worse and worse each year, because again, if I want to give you some numbers, we observe an increase of 20.8 degrees centigrade increase in the average of temperature during of the 2023 if we compare it with the average of long term. And this is the current situation in Canada about the forest. And as you mentioned, that can change the situation and for, I can say, for the high capacity or high risk of the wildfire.
Yeah. So your research helping to detect and kind of model that this scenario unfolds, what can we do in Canada? What mitigation factors are there? Is there anything? And how does this help firefighters, if at all, try to combat these fires?
To be honest, in my opinion, right now, it's really the right time to move to the real time the observation or real time data. We need that. Maybe the first question is here, we in Canada, we have a lot of forests at how we can detect all the country. There is no need to do that. Right now, by my AI model with drought condition, we have detected all the high risk area in the Canada about the risk. And even we classified different, I can say, location in the forest, the Canadian forest with high risk of wildfire. And we need to focus in this area, at the first step. And when we focus in this area, by having the information from satellite image and even, different types of, I can say, remote sensing information that can help us, I believe right now, these tools help us and make it possible to detect neo-ignition quickly, even, for the firefighter, the second count, we are in a situation, if we can act fastly, we can control really and the huge damage of wildfire. And even I believe to monitor the evolution of the fire on the ground by the satellite image. And even we are able to do predict and to go to say where the smoke will go. Right now, again, these tools help us to understand. The other side, we have AI tools for the prediction. AI tools give us the possibility to know more and more about the future and about the, I can say, high risk area, low risk area, and we can categorize and we can put more effort and more resources in the area with the high risk of wildfire.
You talked about the smoke forecasting. That's obviously a big factor in this. What have you seen as far as how far the smoke has reached and how high in altitude the smoke has reached from some of these larger fires?
Again, if we compare these recent years with the previous years, right now, even we observe and we saw that the smoke can go even to Europe. This is because consider the huge quantity of the smoke goes to the air and moves around everywhere. And we remember during of the year of 2023 that the situation of that was really, I can say, in the alert for the many cities in Canada and even in the US. And right now, I believe with such type of release, a huge release, even these years, more than 2 million ton of PM 2.5. The situation is really, I can say, serious, and we need to act really fastly to reduce or at least to control the such type of negative impact for future. And even we need to consider again right now in the situation of the La Nina with the climate modeling. And even if we move again to El Nino can accelerate and can increase average of temperature at least 1 degree. And again, the consequences will be really important.